And good day and welcome back. It's time for another discussion on the judicial branch. We're going to take up the judicial branch, which is Article 3, and I will be answering questions that I have written about the judicial branch that's on that sheet of paper that I sent to you on Moodle. Okay, now we're going to start with one question. And this whole video right here that you're watching is going to be about that one question. And it's Article 3, Question A. What does the judicial branch look like? So I've got a small whiteboard here, and I'm going to write it down. Okay, so at the bottom of the judicial branch in the United States, and by the way, this is duplicated in all 50 states, is the district court. And the district court, there are 94 of these scattered around the United States, and each of them has a judge and a jury. Okay, so each one has a judge and jury. And this is called an original court. And what that means is this is where things start. So if someone gets arrested for bank robbery, which is a federal crime, they're going to go here. Okay? If you want to declare bankruptcy, that's going to start here. That's also a federal issue. Okay? So the district courts are where things begin in the beginning of the process. Okay? They're down here. And you have a judge, you have a jury. The nearest district court is in downtown Abilene, close to McMurray. It's just above the downtown post office. I've taken students there in the past, and we got to watch one step in the process. We got to watch arraignments where people who were charged with crimes, they'd just been arrested, they went before the judge for the very first time. Okay, so that's just a district court. Okay, it is conceivable that you could be called to serve on a jury at a district court. Okay, that is a possibility. All right, all right. So everything starts at the district court level. The next level up is called the U.S. Court of Appeals. And the U.S. Court of Appeals, well, it's a little different. There is 3 judges, no juries, and all they hear are appeals from the district court. And what do I mean by appeals? If you lose at the district court, you can appeal to the Court of Appeals. So it's called an appellate court. Okay, so it only handles appeals. Who can appeal? Only losers. So if you're convicted at the district court, you can appeal to the Court of Appeals. If you sue somebody at the district court, you can appeal to the Court of Appeals, but only losers can appeal. And that's the big thing. Okay, and every case you hear, every case that makes it up to the Court of Appeals is heard by 3 judges. There's no jury or anything like that. All right, then at the top level, oh, I forgot to tell you, there are 14 courts of appeals. They're also called circuit courts. They're also called circuit courts. And these 14 circuit courts handle the business that comes from the Court of Appeals. comes from the district court. So the nearest court of appeals to us is in New Orleans. It's the Fifth Circuit Court, or the Fifth Court of Appeals. And if you've been to New Orleans, you know where Bourbon Street is. Just go over about 3 blocks and there's the Court of Appeals. Okay? So at the top level is the United States Supreme Court. We just put this, Supreme Court. There's one of these. There is one Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. And notice, don't call them judges, even though they are judges. Call them justices. I made the mistake once of calling a Chief Justice in the Texas Supreme Court a judge, and he was not happy. He said justice. So, okay. And the United States Supreme Court, well, they are an appellate court. So they handle appeals from the Court of Appeals. And weirdly enough, they're also an original court. And you go, wait a second, you have an original court down here. What do you have up here? Well, it turns out that if a state sues another state, that goes straight to the Supreme Court. This is per the Constitution, Article 3. So why would a state sue another state? Well, here's a question for you. What's the boundary between Texas and Oklahoma? It's the Red River. Well, the Red River, it turns out, depending on the weather, changes. So if there's a thunderstorm, it's possible that what was the boundary, the middle of the river, has moved. Conceivably, you could go to bed one night in Texas and wake up in Oklahoma based on what the Red River does. And there's a whole bunch of states that have their boundaries defined by rivers. Okay, Georgia and Alabama, the Chattahoochee River is another example. Look at the Mississippi as it goes up the map. There is a whole bunch of states on both sides. So the river changes. The river defines boundaries. Therefore, states aren't happy sometimes with how the river changes course. So they sue another state to get a definition of what their boundary is. So 1% of cases are original cases, and usually that's states suing other states. 99% of cases at the Supreme Court are appellate cases. Appellate cases come from here. They also come from state Supreme Courts. Okay, but always, appellate cases always involve someone losing and then appealing. Okay, so here is the makeup of the court. It's a 3-court structure where you have the district court, where the action starts. You have the appellate court, where 3 judges try to decide things. And then for the big important cases, you have 1 Supreme Court right here. And that handles the big thing. Give you an idea. Supreme Court, they handle about 100 cases a year. Court of Appeals, they handle about 100,000 cases a year. Okay, see the difference? Okay, in the district court, I don't know how many. My guess is almost 1 million. That would be my guess. Okay, so 94 district courts, 14 courts of appeals, 1 Supreme Court. Remember, only losers can appeal. So with that in mind, I just want to tell you a quick story. And this was told to me by a student of mine. And what happened was very simple. It took place in New Mexico. There was a case, and it involved a person who slipped on mustard at Walmart. And they slipped and they fell. And they were angry at Walmart. They said Walmart should have cleaned up the mustard, so they sued Walmart. Okay? And so you sue them at the district court. Okay, so each side brought their mustard experts. I didn't know there was such a thing, but each side brought their mustard experts to the district court for the trial before a judge and a jury. And the woman, well, she claimed that because of the injury at Walmart, she couldn't work because she had a back injury, and she couldn't have sex with her husband because it hurt too much. So what happened was very simple. She made the case before the jury, and you know, the two mustard experts went at it back and forth. They argued about how long mustard is on the ground, stays slippery, and at some point mustard becomes dry and hard. It's no longer slippery. So anyway, that's just the facts of the case. But anyway, what took place was that the jury was listening, and they had problems with the woman. They thought she really wasn't telling the truth, that in fact her back probably wasn't as bad as you would think. And they thought that having her husband testify about missing sex and missing his wife's paycheck was a bit too much. But anyway, what they also dealt with was the fact that there was mustard on the ground at Walmart, and Walmart didn't clean it up. And that's a mistake. So what they decided to do was very simple. They decided that this is the jury. They decided to award the woman at the district court the victory. They said to her, Walmart is liable. Okay? So the woman won. Now the woman had asked for $1 million in compensation for her injuries from Walmart. The jury had problems with the woman. So what they came back with was a different decision. They said Walmart's liable and Walmart owes the woman $1. So when the jury announced the verdict, the lawyer for Walmart, okay, pulled out his wallet, got a dollar bill, handed it to the woman, said, we're done. The woman was just angry. She says, I'm going to appeal. I'm going to take this case all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the question is, can she? Okay, and you should know the answer. Number one, she has to go to the Court of Appeals first. But number two, she won the case. Walmart was liable. Walmart paid what the jury decided it owed. She didn't get what she wanted, but she got Walmart to, they were wrong. So, see how it goes? Because she won, she's not a loser. Only losers can appeal. Okay, so all of this is just to answer question A of Article 3. What does the judicial branch look like? 3 parts. District Court at the bottom, U.S. Court of Appeals in the middle, and Supreme Court at top. All right, more in the next video.